Pavan Duggal, internet security expert, joining us now. Mr. Duggal, what do you make of these fake images that are doing the rounds on the internet? Of course, at the moment, there is no clarity on who could be behind this. Do you think some kind of action can be taken here?
Clearly, these are actions done by some anonymous actors. They could either be state or non-state actors. And when I look at these pictures, I often tend to get a feeling that these have now been circulated to somehow distract attention to the utility and significance of Chandrayaan, and also to potentially put doubts in the minds of the people that these pictures are not of Chandrayaan. Obviously, these are old pictures. They have been digitally redone. But the ultimate idea is to somehow prejudicially try to impact or derail the kind of expectations or the kind of trust that people have in the Chandrayaan project per se. So it could be a part of a destabilization process. As far as action that can be taken, currently the only action that can be taken is asking the relevant social media platforms to delete or pull down those pictures as they are fake, given the fact that they are intermediaries under the Information Technology Act 2000. It will be hard to find out where they have originated from, but clearly an investigation is warranted so as to find out where is the origin coming from, and the social media companies will have the complete details in the relevant electronic logs. So I think these kinds of new paradigms are beginning to evolve. These are new ways of cyber attacks where you are ultimately trying to erode the trustworthiness or the intrinsic confidence that people would have in a particular target or a particular project.
It's interesting, Mr. Duggal, you mentioned how this is really meant to be a destabilizing attempt by possibly a state or a non-state actor. Till we get to the bottom of it, we can't really say who's behind it, but this is really meant to erode the credibility of India's very, very ambitious moon mission, something, that has been hailed the world over, and therefore, obviously, the involvement of elements hostile to India cannot be ruled out. The question is, how seriously, in your view, should India take this? And do we have the requisite technology and laws in our country available to actually fight this menace?
First and foremost, India needs to take this seriously. This might look a small episode, but ultimately it's nothing but a small attack on the overall cyber sovereignty and Indian sovereign interests in cyberspace as also in outer space. Clearly, ISRO has done remarkable yeoman's job, and a lot of stakeholders may not particularly be happy to see how ISRO is actually implementing its thought leadership in space-related activities.
And this tension has been added to by the activity.
We'll try and reconnect with Pavan Duggal there, who is explaining to us the seriousness of this entire issue, fake images doing the rounds on the internet, with those, in fact, putting out these pictures, claiming that these are pictures taken by Chandrayaan to India's ambitious moon mission that was launched only a few days ago. Of course, the government of India and ISRO have clarified that these are fake pictures. I believe we can go back to Mr. Duggal at this point. Mr. Duggal, sorry, we'd lost your line there. Please go ahead, complete the point that you were making about how seriously this needs to be taken by India and the action that we can pursue in this matter.
India needs to take this very seriously. India needs to come up with a holistic approach to protect not just its interest in outer space, but also for making its outer space related activities far more cyber secure. We also need to come up with a holistic national legal framework to deal with these challenges. Unfortunately, the current legal framework does not support the taking of any concrete action. Yes, these social media platforms are indeed intermediaries under the IT Act, but most of these are located outside India and are not amenable to favorably going ahead and complying with Indian legal frameworks. So number one, I think the Information Technology Act 2000 needs to be now amended. We passed it roughly about 2 decades back. We amended it roughly 12 years back. The time has now come that we should make it more topical so that it can actually deal with these emerging new challenges that we are beginning to see, which are nothing but attacks on the cyber sovereignty and the sovereignty related aspects of India. We also need to come up with specific new parameters so that the nuances pertaining to social media viral activities can be specifically stipulated, and activities can be described as detailed cyber crimes. Further guidelines need to be put in place by the government to be followed by these social media companies. I think India as a nation cannot afford to be complacent. We are going to be always on attack by various state and non-state actors as we are pushing the envelope and are demonstrating to the world our thought leadership in outer space and other related areas. So the quicker we are able to beef up our legal frameworks, the quicker we are able to further demonstrate our thought leadership on cyber related issues at an international level. That will be a fitting way for India going forward so as to protect its sovereign interests in cyberspace.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.